All right. In the past position, we'd have the Five of Swords. Once again, verbal conflict. This one is a little bit more of an escalation. So we're going from Swords, which has the ability to hurt, from the past, and we're escalating to like Wands, or de-escalating to the Wands, and the Wands are in the reverse. So it indicates to me hostility or whatever it was in the past that could have been like hurtful, like emotionally, it's definitely ending for this month. Once again, this card is the Four of Pentacles, indicates what's coming into the picture very, very soon. This is a card of release, okay? So you are no longer personally, emotionally invested in a situation, so you're able to let go and you're able to release the outcome or the other person that you're constantly sparring with, that you can't really agree on anything with, you can't really see eye to eye with. This is a card that indicates to me you just dropping, you know, the person and walking out completely. I do feel that either you or the other person is just choosing to emotionally check out and physically check out and walking away. It can also indicate a situation where, you know, with the Four of Coins in the traditional tarot, it does indicate somebody who's very like protective of their heart, protective of their feelings. They absorb a lot of other people's feelings, but they are very, very, they reveal their, they don't reveal their feelings as much as whatever it is they're taking in. So they internalize a lot of their feelings. They internalize other people's feelings, and they don't really, they're afraid to speak up for themselves. And they're also like very, just self-protective. In terms of what's crowning you, we have the King of Swords. So a lot of you are in some type of possibly a verbal debate or in a type of conflictual situation. And I saw this too for the monthly reading for September for Scorpios. There's definitely an air sign. So this is Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising. It can also be a person who is, this is the voice of counsel. The King of Swords indicates to me somebody who is a little bit prone to twisting the truth. It can be you or it can be the other partner, that whoever it is that you're dealing with. But I do feel for a lot of you, this might be in a financial sense. It could also be like in a romantic sense, okay? So this can be male or female air sign. And I do sense there is definitely conflict coming through. And I mean, it's understandable, mainly because you are a water sign, so you are very like you're very clear with your motives, clear with your intentions. Air signs, they operate on a very philosophical level, so they can run through like hypotheticals. Hypotheticals are things that just don't happen in real life, you know. So they could just they waste a lot of time thinking about, you know, hypotheticals, what if, and, you know, when this happened, what will we do? And it's their communication style is just very detached, but it's also they're like running through all the scenarios when in fact you just want to focus on, you know, what is. So there's definitely that discrepancy between the way you both analyze the situation, you both assess what has transpired in the past. So there's definitely conflict that is not being addressed, or it's not addressed effectively. So both of you, I feel, is just, you're not seeing eye to eye. You're wasting your breath. You're wasting your energy. You're wasting your time. So this is something that needs to be let go. On top of that, we have the Devil as something in your environment that you're not aware of. And I do feel with the King of Swords and the Devil, it could indicate somebody who is very, very manipulative, okay? So if you look at this card here, it is the puppeteer. It is somebody that wants to be in control. So there are definitely control issues coming through from both parties, actually, because air signs in general are actually very, air signs are just very, very individualistic. They're very independent, fiercely independent. So you have this energy in the mix where somebody might be trying to control, to manipulate somebody else in order to get a specific outcome. Okay, so this can indicate like lying by omission as well, deception, and it can come from both parties, because I do feel reverse. Most likely it can come from this person, but more than anything, it's like an ongoing conflict that leads nowhere. So the only way to, it's a deep-rooted conflict. So the only way for both partners to feel as if, okay, we've wasted so much time on this, or I myself have wasted so much time in this conflictual relationship. I want a swift victory over my adversary. I want the outcome that I want. So one or both partners can resort to manipulation, okay? And more than anything, the devil in your environment that you're not aware of. Somebody here in this environment is just frankly addicted to the drama. Okay, so this is something that you want to keep an eye out for. If it's your partner, you really have to let it go. If it's you, this is something that needs to be addressed. And I do feel somebody is just like honestly addicted to the drama. In terms of your advice here, we have the strength card, and the strength card indicates resilience. It also indicates like inner strength as well as physical strength. It doesn't mean to overpower anybody with any of those things. So it's a matter of having the strength, but knowing when to hold back. Okay. If you look at this picture, the lion can overpower her, but it is choosing not to. And it's sort of like calming that beastie side of you in order to operate and embrace somebody despite their flaws, despite their bad habits, despite their tendency or penchants for manipulation, for operating on a very low vibrational level. So this is a card of tranquility as well. So I do feel that this is like calming, soothing the beast. This can be you appeasing your partner by backing off and by speaking the truth that needs to be said. Or it can be a situation in which somebody is dealing with addiction, substance abuse. It's dealing with, addiction to drama, addiction to people, addiction to certain life circumstances that doesn't serve them. So the strength here is learning to calm your inner ego, calm your inner demons, and to, in order to do this, I do feel that you need another person in your life who has like a strong sense of moral integrity, detachment in order to do this, in order to help you through this process, okay? So no man's an island. I do feel that it's important for you to at least have another person in your life so that you can be able to address this and realize the importance of having this inner strength, inner resilience, because your actions in the past might affect those around you. So you want to get a bearing on this, or the other person's actions might have negative consequences for you, or it might affect you negatively. So you want to be able to get to this point where you both don't have to agree with one another, but you should try to appease one another, or try to at least reach a consensus, okay, where you're not constantly blowing up at one another. In terms of your external environment, we have the Magician. Okay, so a lot of you are definitely dealing with, I do feel the manipulation is definitely coming through from possibly the air sign that you're dealing with, because with the Magician reverse, it indicates to me somebody that is very, very intelligent, as indicated by the King energy. Somebody who knows better, but they're not operating at their best. They are twisting the truth. They're lying by omission is what I'm getting with this card, because, the truths, I think of them as the elements. They're on the table. The whole story is on the table. It's all laid out to you, and this person is wielding the truth. He's holding that sword, but he's not conducting himself in a open-handed way. So you're dealing with somebody who's very manipulative, who has a lot of potential, but they're choosing to walk like the low road rather than the high road. Okay, so be very careful about this energy in general. In terms of your hopes and fears here, you do want to have that sense of emotional calmness. Okay, so you do want to like soothe the turbulent waters. You do want to be able to walk the fine line between, expressing yourself and trying to appease the other person. And I do feel that the energy, what you really want is to appease the other person. You want the conflict to end. You want this juggling act. You want this this fine line. It's like walking on eggshells around another person. It's very uncomfortable. You don't want to have to do it, and you feel like at any point the balancing act can shift heavily on one side or the other. So there's definitely, something's got to give here. And I do feel that your hopes here is that you want to maintain the status quo. However, the fears here is that one side might have too much power. So I do feel that in this context, I'm sensing the manipulation, or even, that you're holding on very, very tightly, or you've held on very tightly to your feelings. You don't want the other party to know how much you mean to them. Okay? In a negotiation situation where you're possibly negotiating for salary, the job itself is something that you really, really, really want, and you have like emotionally invested so much in it, and you can only see one way, but you're playing it cool and you don't want the other person to know how much it means to you because you want to have bargaining power. That's what I'm sensing here. It's like a power play between people, and in a situation where both sides are not yet ready to show their cards. Okay, it could be a new relationship too, where you're both trying to play it cool and you're trying to assess, how much the other person likes you. It can be as simple as that, or it can be, one of those really, really toxic codependent relationship in which you could potentially have, substance abuse issues, and you're trying your best to get everything under wraps. You're trying to, maintain it, or you're trying to get through it yourself, and you're not being, other people don't know that you're struggling with this. Okay. It could be something simple like, even smoking. You're trying to quit, and when you quit, you get really grouchy. And other people are just like, what's going on? Is there anything wrong? Can I help you? And you're just like, no, I really want to handle this by myself. And once again, Libra got the same card. As for the outcome position here, we have the wheel. Okay, so the wheel of fortune in the reverse position. You're really hoping that you can handle it on your own, that everything is all peaches and gravy, that you are stronger than this, whatever it is that's bothering you. And I do feel it could be the energy of another person where you're trying to walk the high road and the other person is making it so difficult for you to do so. And I do feel that this is what you're hoping for, but the juggling act is not going to work out in your favor. So you want to be really careful about what it is that you're doing here, Scorpios. I do sense that if it's a relationship, you're trying to move on and you're trying to find a way to extract yourself cleanly from this situation in order to move on, okay? If it is a work situation, I do feel that there's definitely somebody new in the picture. There's definitely like revived passion. So once again, I mentioned that, somebody is addicted to the drama. And, a lot of the times the people that we're really, really like just magnetically attracted to are the ones that we don't really, that are opposites, or that we don't really get along with. So there's that jarring energy where there's a lot of attraction, but there's also a lot of repulsion. So the relationship is inherently very, very unstable. However, you have that passion. So it's kind of like break up, make up, and then, people just not getting along, but then they're addicted to the drama. So they get back into one another's lives and the whole pattern repeats. This seems to me, the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse indicates to me things that you should know better, you should extract yourself from, things that are not in your best interest with the Devil here. But you're going back for round two. It's like a cyclical event. It stops, it ends, and stop and go, and it's a series of makeup and breakup. And I do feel that other people around you are warning you against this. Okay, you have Seven of Wands in this position. I do feel that other people are trying to warn you. They're trying to tell you, don't get back with that person. Don't get in this situation because, we've nursed you through, your previous breakups, your previous disappointments. And here you are again, back at square one and trying to do this and trying to get yourself in the same situation. So I do sense that for a lot of you, you have a lot of support, okay? But they're not supportive of your choice. It doesn't mean that they hate you, that they're not going to be there for you. when people say, you know, I love you, but I don't support you, what you're doing, it means that they don't want to hear you talk about it, but they will still be there to catch you when you fall. They just don't want you to gripe about it. They just don't want to, you know, hear anything else related to that incident that you're getting yourself into once more. So just know that you have a lot of support around you. So overall, I do feel one of the main things coming across here with this entire spread is some of you might have to stage some type of an intervention. It could be like somebody in your life, you or somebody in your life, possibly relapsing, getting into, you know, substance abuse, or getting into a series of unhealthy habits and behaviors. And one person has to step in to, you know, stage an intervention in order to guide this person on their right path, because the person is not able to do it. Okay, so this is a very other-oriented rest of September. I do feel that you really have to ask for help, Scorpios. You have a lot of love and support, not from possibly that air sign, but from other people around you, friends, family, loved ones. Okay, possibly even the air sign, but there is a little bit too much of a vested interest from the air sign for a particular outcome. So this might not be the best person for you to come to. So what I mean by that is they might have their own motives. They might have like a very biased, a very skewed look at reality. So they might not be the voice of reason in this situation here. So bounce ideas off of other people and try to incorporate other people's opinions, other people into your life, because I do feel that you need another person's perspective this month. You definitely need their support to get through some hurdle that you're trying to overcome, okay? Because I do feel the potential here is that we have your card at the center of this spread, which is the Death card. It's the card of letting go, and it's also just, you know, that whole transformative process where something has to end in order for something else to begin. The Wheel of Fortune reverse indicates to me this situation, you have not ended it yet. So new things can't come in for you. So if you can let it go, if you know what it is, and you can let it go, this situation will write itself up, okay? And then you will be okay. You will have a lot more things that are in alignment with your life path coming through.